Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Dawn. Today I'll show you how to track a flight the best, easiest and free way on your mobile device. The app I recommend to track your flight is Kayak, so which I have it right here. So let me just open this up. Now this app has various uses. For example, it can track your flight you booked. It can track your whole trip, like your hotel, Airbnb, everything. But for today's video, we're just going to concentrate on tracking a flight which you haven't booked, or you're not taking that flight, or you're just tracking for your relatives, or even you're tracking for yourself, but you don't want to use their trip tracking system by forwarding them the hotel or flight email. So this way, you can just add any flight and it's going to track that flight for you. So when you open the app, this is the screen you're going to get. And if you're not on the screen, then you can easily come to this section by going to the main search screen. So for example, if you click on the upper left corner, for example, if you click right here, and here you can see that the first option is search, trips, price alerts, and explore. So if you click on search, then it's going to take you to that page where you want to be to start tracking a flight. So now you're not going to see track a flight option on the top, so you have to kind of scroll down a little bit. And for example, I just wanted to show you something that this is tracking my Niagara Falls trip starting November 23rd, and it's going to show all the details like check-in time, check-out time, and everything. So I'm going to do a separate video about that. So if you keep scrolling down, then you're going to see underneath that flight tracker. So you want to click on the flight tracker. So if you click here, then here it's detecting your location and just is going to pick up all the flights leaving from your closest airport. So for my app, this is picking up YYZ, which is Toronto Pearson International Airport, and you can see that all these flights. So if you just click on these flights, then it's going to start tracking that flight. But there are other ways you can add a flight to track. So for example, you can add a flight by flight number, or you can add a flight by flight route. So let's try adding a flight by flight route. I think that's one of the easiest way also. And one thing to note, it cannot track flight if you start if you wanted to track to advance, it has to be, I think, the last 3 days before, which we're going to see right now. So let's say I'm going to choose our airport, which is Toronto International, Pearson International Airport. And then let's pick Istanbul. So and then here I can see Istanbul IST. And then here you can see that departure date is September 24. And if you just click on here, which I was telling you before, I just wanted to show you this. So if you click on here, then you can see that these numbers are bold. So what it means that you can only add flights to track the current day, which is today, 23rd, and 24, 25th, 26th, 27th. So I think it's the current day and 4 days after. So let's say you want to track a flight for 29. It will not be able to do that. You have to wait a couple of days. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you. Now, what are you going to do? We'll just, here, hit flight, find flights. So if I click on here, then it's just searching for flights leaving on that date from Toronto to Istanbul. Now you can see that it has found a few flights. So for example, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flights. So these 5 flights are leaving from Toronto to Istanbul on that day we chose. And let's say this is, you see here, one of your flights, then we can just click one of them. So for example, let's say you want to track the Singapore Airlines 6308. So if you click here, now you can see that this flight is being tracked. So it already says booked here. So that means that this application or app is tracking that flight. So now if you go back to the main screen, before actually going back to the main screen, I just wanted to show you some more information here. So you can see that it's showing you the departure time and arrival time in Istanbul, and then duration and all this information. And it's giving you message on time and departs in 5 hours 54 minutes. And then as you go through the flight, it's going to actually show you interactive map. You can see where the flight is exactly at what moment, and then it's going to give you messages. For example, if the flight is delayed, it's going to show up here. If the flight is early, it's going to show up here, and then it's going to give you the assigned gate number. It's going to tell you if the flight where the flight lands, then what luggage belt you have to go. It is even going to give you that number, so you don't have to actually look on the airport display board. So it's going to give you all the information, and just because you're tracking the flight. So let's go back to the main screen. So now you can see that your flight is right here, and then whenever you're just opening the app, it's going to show up here, and this is going to be your flight. So if you're adding more flight, then they're just going to show up one under another, and in order to go there, you have to just kind of like click on it, and then it's going to take you to the details section. Now let's say if your flight is late, early, or if you want to know the gate number, or if you want to know that where the carousel belt where your luggage is coming, is going to show it here, and also it's going to send you notification unless you stop the notification on your device. So it's going to show you the notification. Now let's say if you don't want to track this flight anymore, then the option you have, you can just click here, the 3 dots, and then here, if you just hit delete, then it's just going to delete the track, and then it's just going to eliminate the tracking. So that's how you can track a flight. Now let's say if let me go back to the main screen. Let's say we wanted to track another flight. Then the way you can do it, there's another way you can add, which I mentioned a little bit, which is by flight number. So you have to just mention the airline and the flight number, and you have to input the departure date. Then it's going to show you that flight. So if you know your specific flight number, so this way you can add it. But if you don't know the flight number, then you can just look here, schedule, and the thing is, the schedule is just going to show all the current dated flights. But if you want to see the route, then here you can track it anytime. Now this is a free app, but the options it's giving you, they are actually better than some paid apps, because some paid apps make you to pay annual fee or monthly fee to use their app, but Kayak is totally free. And this is just a flight tracking for the flight you haven't added to your trip list. But this app has many other features. For example, it can track a flight. It can you can track your hotel, or you can add your hotel to the itinerary, and then you can add your Airbnb, you can add your bus trip, you can add your any type of travel related trip. You can just add it, and it's just going to show you everything one by one, and that way you know exactly what date you're going to be where. So I'm going to do a separate video possibly in the future about its other features, but this is how you can track a simple flight if you're not taking that flight, or if you haven't that flight on your trip list. And the name of the app is Kayak, Kayak, and this is completely free. So for the next travel tips and tricks video, I'm going to put a link on the screen, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.